Hi everybody, Tim Williams here, part of the fire prevention team with the Petrolia North Enniskillen Fire Department, and coming to you from home, of course. It's December 2020, we're all working from home, and the fire prevention team, we're starting to get concerned. It's been a long time since we've been out to visit people, to visit schools. We didn't have a smoke alarm program this year where we went door to door, so we're starting to get concerned that maybe we need to talk to you about smoke alarms and make sure your smoke alarms are functioning. We're all working from home now. The kids are home more. We're doing more cooking. We have all our Christmas lights up. So our fire load is pretty heavy right now. So let's make sure we're safe. So smoke alarms 101. That's what we're going to do today. I know we have smoke alarms and we have carbon monoxide alarms in our house, and some of us have combinations. But today we're just going to talk about smoke alarms. So the first thing we need to do with smoke alarms is make sure that they're functioning. And to do that, most smoke alarms have different types on them somewhere, but they have buttons on them. Older style like this, the simpler one, the simple type, have 2 buttons on them. This is a real basic one that's really popular. It has 2 buttons, and I actually took my Sharpie and marked on them a T for test and an H for hush, or as some people lovingly call it at 3 o'clock in the morning, the shut up button. So it's hard to see when you get old like me where it says test and hush on them. So I made it just bigger so I know when it's on the wall, up in the wall, I can reach up and touch the right button. Now, if you want to test your smoke alarms, one like this, it's very simple. You just press the button and hold it. If it's going off like that, it tells you that it's functioning. If you hold it, and you hold it for 20, 30 seconds, nothing happens, it means that it's not working. Either the batteries are dead, or the whole alarm is not functioning and it's time to replace it. So, one like this, to change the batteries. This is a battery-operated smoke alarm. To change the batteries, it's quite simple. First thing you need to do, though, is get it off of the wall. If it's on the wall, there should be a mount on it. And to take it off, it's very simple. It's a quick turn and pull, and it comes apart. Again, it's really simple. Don't have much pressure. That's what holds it on the wall. To take it off, quick turn clockwise, and off it comes. Now, if anyone's ever put one of these up, when they look at the kit that comes with it, it comes with 2 screws and a plastic thing, a little white plastic thing. The plastic thing is meant, which nobody knows, to go in here, and it locks it into place so that you can't turn it. So if you try to get your alarm off and it won't move, you need to pull that plastic thing out that someone's put in there. Then you can turn it and take it off. Now, once you do that, we can look at our smoke alarm. The first thing we want to look at, so once we get our cheaters on, is to see, you look for the date on the smoke alarm. Now, if we look down here, we'll see a manufacture date of 2009. March the 7th. So 2009. Smoke alarms are only good for 10 years. After 10 years, you need to replace them. So this one is expired. That's why I have it sitting not on a wall somewhere, but helping me for demonstration. So the first thing we know, if it's older than 10 years, you need to replace that smoke alarm. Don't bother looking at the batteries, just replace it. Okay? But for today, if we want to look at this check the batteries on it, it's quite simple. The battery cover is on the back of this one. Now, if you have dainty hands like me, you might want to find a little screwdriver, set it down, and just take the screwdriver to open it up. So in this case, we have a 9-volt battery in here. To take the battery out, you see this little tab here. If it's been put in properly, this little tab, you just pull the tab, and the battery pops out like that. Now, if that tab's not there, you can just pull the battery out by hand. Now, when I pulled that out, this red tab came up, okay? The red tab here, that's a safety. You see what happens? You can't put the lid down without a battery in it. The red tab is up, the lid won't go down. And of course, if the lid won't go down, it won't go back on the wall. So that's a safety so that you don't put it back up on the wall without a battery in it. If you look inside, it shows you inside which way to put the battery, because A 9-volt battery has a positive and a negative side. Positive, negative. So make sure it goes in the way it asks it to. Now to put it in and make that red tab work, I found a simple way. I set it down and I slide the battery in across that red tab and in like that. Now it's in place. I'll do it again. The tab right there, slide it across the tab so the tab goes in to the chamber and set it in. And then we snap the lid down. Now, once you've done that, you can test it. And it works. Now, when you test it too, you'll find that it'll chirp for a little while. And we'll listen for, just like that. You listen for the chirp, and that tells you that this battery's been checked and it's chirping, it's resetting. And whenever you hit the test or the hush button, it will chirp for about 7 minutes to let you know that it's in kind of a hush mode until it resets in about 7 minutes. Now, if you're cooking toast and you set your smoke alarms off and they're going off and you want it to be quiet, that's when you hit the hush button, the middle button. And when you press in on that, that'll stop the smoke alarm from going off. It sets it into just a hush mode for, again, about 7 minutes. And then there's the chirp again. It tells you that it's processing right now. And so that gives you about 7 minutes to clear the toast smoke away and for it to reset. Now, if you don't know why it went off and you hit hush and it goes back on again, then there's something probably wrong in your house, or you've had a full failure on your smoke alarm. If it's going off and you don't know why, you call 911 and we'll help you figure it out, okay? Because it could be just a lingering smoke in your house and you can't sense it, but your smoke alarm is. So don't try to overthink your smoke alarm. If it's going off and you don't know why, there's the chirp again. It's a good idea. You call 911. Okay, so another type of battery operated smoke alarm for us to look at is one with the batteries on the front. And this is still only battery operated. In this case, this is a combination smoke and carbon monoxide. We're going to get into the carbon monoxides more later. But for this one, when you see the door in the front, to open it up, again, I'm going to take the screwdriver. You take the lid off, and we have, look at in here, we got AA batteries. So don't expect you to always have 9-volt batteries. A lot of the newer smoke alarms have different batteries. I've seen ones with AAAs in them too. So it depends on the manufacturer and how old they are, etc., as to what type of batteries. So don't assume you're going to have 9 volts in it. Check before you go to the store to get some. All right, so to take these out, you didn't like them when I took one out. You just pull them out. Now, when I took them out, you see what happened here. Each one of these has a red tab that won't allow me to put the lid back on. Okay? That's because it doesn't want you putting it back up on the wall without batteries in it. So to put them back in, we need to pull the tab down and push down. Okay? Slide it down. Put them in. Okay, so the batteries are in. Now you can put the lid back on. This one's a little stubborn. And it's set. And to test this one, you hit the button over here. Nothing happened. Let's see. We look at the back. What's our date of manufacture? 2004. So this one's ancient. It doesn't look that old, does it? But it's manufactured 2004. It's not functioning. It's old. It's not working anymore. So we're going to throw that out. Okay, one more to look at here, a battery operated one. This little guy here, there's a lot of these sold in their day. It only has one button to push and hold to test it. And if you look at this thing, first thing I notice is the color. Okay, yellow like this. I see lots of these in houses. Very yellow. It's starting to change color, which should be a signal to you that if it's started to change color, it's been around a while and it's probably not functioning right. You probably don't even need to see a date on it. But in this case, this one didn't even have a door in the back. They were manufactured that way. Take the battery out. Okay, just to check it. And if I look at the back on it, there isn't even a test date on it. There isn't even a date of manufacture. So if you have a smoke alarm in your house and there's no date of manufacture, I will guarantee you it's older than 10 years. Because there was a point, I'm not going to get to the specific date, but where you did not have to have a date of manufacture on the smoke alarm. And if you have one without one, it's old. It's time to get new ones. Talk about battery operated smoke alarms. Now I'm going to talk about the interconnected smoke alarm systems. Interconnected smoke alarm systems are wired directly into your household electricity. The beauty of them is that when one goes off, they all go off. So if you have a fire in your basement, your alarm goes off in the basement and it goes off right beside your bedroom. So this way, you have early warning, you can get out faster if there's a fire in your house. So interconnected smoke alarms, the newer style, all have a battery backup. If you have an interconnected smoke alarm system in your house and you don't have battery backup, I can guarantee you that those are some of the original ones that were put into houses, and there's a lot of them in Petrolia, and those are well over 10 years old, and you need to replace the whole system, okay? So if we look at a newer interconnected smoke alarm, there's some pretty cool things about them that they've made that make things a lot easier for you. If we look at them, number one, they say the replacement date on them. So in this case, I'll get my trusty glasses on again. And this one says replaced by 2026. And also on the back, it gives the date of manufacture, which is 2016, which makes sense. You've got 10 years difference. So it tells you right there, the date of manufacture also. And also on the back, it tells you what all of the alarms mean. So if you have any questions, you can look at the back of these and it tells you what all the sounds that it makes mean. Also on the back, you'll find a 3-prong hookup, and that's where the electricity is plugged in. Now, if you go to replace your old hardwired smoke alarms with new ones, pretty good chance that this hookup is going to be different than your old ones. So be prepared to replace them all because they're not going to work nicely together. They do not play nice with old ones and new ones. So expect to change them all. Now, again, for battery operation on these, to check the batteries, in this case they're in the front. It's very similar to the battery operated ones. In fact, it's the exact same. You pull the batteries out. You have the red tabs in there. It tells you which way to put the batteries in. There's a negative and a positive side. The batteries go back in just like the battery operated ones. Close the door, and you can check these to make sure that the batteries are operating just on battery alone by pressing the button in the middle, and it'll go into check mode.
Push test button. Appuyez sur le bouton d'essai.
Okay, so we know the batteries are working because it's gone through that whole system and it's reset and it's made the noise, which it's supposed to. So without this even plugged into the electrical system, you know that this one's working. Now, to look at the electrical system and how to take it off the wall, which is a bit of a challenge, we'll do that next. So, we go up to the ceiling. This is the exact same one as I just tore apart. There's a little catch on here. You need to squeeze in and turn just a slight amount, and they'll come off the ceiling. Now, when you pull it down, of course, you're going to have wires come down with it. So you have 3 wires connected into here, and to take it off of the ceiling, it hangs on its own. You need to hold in. On most of the type, you hold in on the sides, and that will come right off the wall like that. Okay, that'll put it back in. It's the same thing. Line up your 3 wires. That was harder than I thought. You click it back in. You heard it beep. You put it back in the ceiling. Oh, it's resetting.
Fire.
Clicks back in. It's reset itself.
Warning. Carbon monoxide. Monoxide de carbone.
It's tested itself. I've heard it going off upstairs also, so I know the whole system's operating properly. And that's what we want it to do. Okay, now that I've showed you the 2 different types of smoke alarms that you might have in your house, just going over some of the new ones that are available. These I all grabbed in Petrolia at Home Hardware. Petrolia Home Hardware has a fantastic variety of smoke alarms, as good a variety as you're going to find anywhere. So you don't have to go far to get hooked up with smoke alarms around Petrolia and Enniskillen Township. What we have here is a bunch of brand new ones that are available. What I like here is, first of all, these are your hardwired type that go into your AC voltage in your house with the battery backup. They have lots of those available, and they usually come in a box. That's what I find, at least. The hardwired type come in a box. Remember, if you're changing one of your hardwired ones, it's probably got to change them all to make them mesh and work correctly. So keep that in mind. It can get a little expensive, but amortize it over 10 years. It's a cheap way to stay safe. These are your basic smoke alarms here. This is your basic one with the 2 buttons, the test button and the hush button. This is strictly battery operated. And now we're getting into some new ones here that are kind of cool. Now we have here, this is a 10-year smoke alarm. So this is battery operated, but with the lithium battery that's in it, it's good for 10 years. So you don't have to change batteries. You put it on the wall, test it every month, and it's good for 10 years. Same thing here, except this one's made for kitchen area. This one's a hallway. So they just sense smoke differently. The kitchen ones, these are for if you've had battery, usually this type one here, you got these guys up near your kitchen. They go off every time you turn the oven on or make toast. Something like this, you're going to get less of those nuisance alarms because it works differently. It's a photoelectric, and it doesn't sense that type of carbon smoke as easily. But they're actually a little more sensitive to electrical fires, which makes them kind of cool. So there are ones for around that kitchen area when we have a lot of nuisance alarms, which might work much better in that area. And it also has a 10-year battery in it. So no change in batteries for 10 years. After 10 years, you just replace the whole machine. Okay. Now, another one I think is really cool is it's still wireless, battery operated, good for 10 years. The lithium battery is good for 10 years. And these ones are interconnected. So being wireless, but interconnected. So you're getting the feature of having one that's hardwired into your house. But if you're not set up, if it's not a newer house hooked up like this, you can make your house so they're interconnected using these battery operated wireless ones. So one goes off, then they all go off, which is a fantastic thing to have. So you have one in your basement, have a fire in your basement, it goes off, it warns you upstairs by your bedroom. Fantastic idea. Now, if you got someone at home, Christmas is coming. If you have someone that has everything, here's a great Christmas gift. New smoke alarms. If you have an elderly person near Petrolia that lives by themselves or something, and probably an older house, doesn't have interconnected smoke alarms, something like this across their house is a fantastic idea. Maintenance free for 10 years. It's a great idea for anyone. So that pretty well sums up what we have for the smoke alarms, the smoke alarm 101. We'll kind of be coming back to you with the carbon monoxide alarms next and talking about those. Now, the last thing is, if you're still confused and don't know how your smoke alarms work, don't know if they're functioning, then we want you to call us and we can come make arrangements to make sure that you're safe. The Petrolia Fire Hall number is 519-882-2020. Again, it's 519-882-2020. Leave a message if someone doesn't answer, and they'll be sure to get a hold of the fire prevention team, and we'll get a hold of you and see if we can help you to make sure that you're safe for the holidays. On that, everyone have a great holiday, Merry Christmas, and stay safe this winter.